Hello and a very warm welcome to all of you on Sarva Gunn Sampann. Thank you so much for joining me on this series of podcasts where I have the opportunity to host women of India and the diaspora and spotlight their incredible journeys and their personalities and perspectives. My guest today is a woman who values integrity, fearlessness, accountability, authenticity, and collaboration. Her strengths include leadership, decisiveness, determination, emotional intelligence, and critical thinking. It gives me great joy and privilege to welcome Rita Singh to the show. Rita ji, what an honor it is for me to have you. How are you doing?
I am doing wonderful. I'm so thankful and very happy and honored to be here with you, sharing some of things from my life journey. And so it's great to be with you.
I'm
Finally.
absolutely. I've been trying to get you on this show for quite some time now, and I know you've got a very, very hectic schedule and a lot of great things that you are part of. So I cannot wait to get started. Our first segment is all about your childhood. I'd love to go back with you in time and rediscover your childhood. What was growing up like for you? So take it away, Rita ji.
Sure. I think before I begin, I want to mention that what I'm going to share in next 30 minutes is not all about me. It is about the people who have shaped me, mentored me, inspired me, influenced me to lead and serve. So as I go through some of the experiences, you will hear me saying we, not I. So there's actually no I for me. I feel it's we, collectively we do so many things in one's life. So I'm very grateful to be sharing that with you today. Bachchpan ke din, childhood, it always, my heart smiles when I think about the time, we spent with our parents, friends and schools and college. They have left really footprints forever. I don't think I can ever forget, and those are the memories when we came here, we brought with us. And they are still very fresh, joyful. Some may not be that happy because coming here was, a lot of pain and leaving our parents behind. So first thing that comes to my mind when I think about my childhood is our parents. Without them I would not be here. Our Pitaji, Viji, who raised me and my three brothers with best of values, and their sacrifices were enormous. I'll never ever forget. They gave us the best education. Unfortunately, my father had passed away at a very early age, young age, and we were raised by a very strong mother. My mother was very strong, very simple, but very wise. She would be able to figure out things, from nowhere. And I still remember, the sacrifices, and it brings, a lot of tears and heavy heart sharing this with you, that even to save like a 1 rupee, she would walk miles so she could save that money for our education. So we owe that to her, and to both our parents. And I think I would leave it with that note that, they gave us the unconditional love, the values which we are living here, and it is all due to their karmas.
It is something that
Yes.
you carry with a lot of pride, but also it's heavy on your heart because you've seen your parents, your mother especially, go through that period of struggle and sacrifice. And that is what is the foundation. That has what has laid the foundation for your life, for your future, for your success. And you trace it all back to that one point in your life, that one relationship that was the cornerstone. So thank you for sharing that, Rita ji. Really appreciate that. All right, we'll move on to our next segment, which is Ye Kahaan Aa Gaye Hum. And this is about what happened after your high school. So you talked about your Bachchpan. So what was the journey like after you finished your high school and all the way till the present day?
In my school, I had this vision, um, to become a doctor, but that did not materialize for some of the circumstances we were going through. And I, I was able to convince my mom, who was a single mother, raising four of us, that if I go in a business, I'll still be okay. And which I think that's what I'm doing now. So I finished my master's in English literature, and then just like anybody else, came here to USA and got married. And that's in nutshell, and it was very good to come here with education and the good values. And I think those are the two things, if I were to go back, is that we had the good education, which our parents made sure becomes the number one goal in our life, and then the values they raised us with. So those became, the foundation of our life here.
What were the initial struggles and challenges when you came to this country?
When I do want to mention that when I came here, got married and had two daughters, beautiful daughters, and I was a homemaker, and I will always be a homemaker. I had this, even to this day, unstoppable warrior spirit to do something with my time. And, I want to make sure that, I'm not just contributing to my family only, but I do something with my time, which goes back to the community. And so I started looking into, what would be the best career for me, coming with a master's here. And finally, I realized that, I may go and do sit in a CP exam. And that was a bit challenging for me, I know, because I had never worked for a consulting company or in a business. So that took me a while, but I was very focused. I literally gave up my social life for 4 years because I was taking care of my family and kids, and then studying at night, and then finished my exam. And after that, I wanted to, start something of my own. And that came around because I think it was due to the one person I feel in my life, my husband, who let me live on my own terms. He gave me the confidence and the courage to actually go out and do something with my time, and gave me all the support I needed. And we together, actually, he was also transitioning during that time from a corporate job, and we started our company back in 1989. So there were many challenges. Starting a business from scratch is not easy. But again, with our business, we had to build our own company and also help these clients of ours who were looking up to us to find solutions, and how to grow in a challenging market. So it was very difficult, but I think what made all of this journey very joyful, I feel, not just for us, but for our clients, was we started volunteering in the community. I have been almost part of um, so many organizations. I can't even name them. They almost everybody here, from SBA to um, Cozy, Urban League. So I started volunteering, and we consistently engaged ourselves, build relationships, alliances, partnerships, everything. I feel that collaboration made our business very successful over the years, and we were able to deal with a lot of adversities, which comes with every business, having no capital, no resources, no financial health. But all of this, these relationship, which I mentioned you in the beginning, the I to we, it was all of us. That collaboration brought everything, the good people in our company, the financial helps, the resources where we could lean and share those with our clients. So I feel that's has become a way of life for us. That's not something we do one day. It's kind of built into our process in our day-to-day life, how we serve other people and our clients.
Like they say, take care of your people and they'll take care of your business. So that's something that you have, you epitomize, building those relationships and treating people the way they ought to be treated, the way they deserve to be treated. And that is at the heart of all your ventures. We're also talking about a time when there was no technology the way it is today. So how was that environment where you started your business from scratch? And like you said, it took you time to establish, it took you time to build those relationships. You know, you were probably just one person, your two people team, right? You and your husband, starting from scratch, and all you had were, was your knowledge base, right?
Yes.
Talk to me a little bit about that journey.
So, when we started back in 1989, I recall even to get our first computer, we had to ask other people, other professionals, and even had to go out of town to get this huge computers, and printers. And it was a bit challenging. And, there wasn't the communication piece wasn't there. The internet was not being used that much, in the business. It was just beginning to rise during those times. But, one thing I feel now having best technology, I feel, which every day there's a change, whatever we use in our business to do the business in right here in USA and outside USA. Technology changes so quickly, right? But what really helped us, and even now, is that face-to-face, interaction, meeting people. And that's what I was actually spending 60% of my time, and same Nip did. We are both partners, and we were able to actually find the best talent because we were always outside our office, meeting people, meeting organizations, serving others, So I think that really helped us to solve this puzzle. How do we go about doing anything? Which software we should buy, which program, or where we should go, who should we hire, how to do, a business plan, a marketing plan, these things which we were set to offer to our clients. I think to me, this is how I help even all the people I come in contact is to, the answer is outside us. There are things which we can learn and implement and have those people part of your, even if you are a small company and you may be a 2% company, but if you have this relationship, collaboration, and alliances among other businesses and individuals, I think then the things are manageable and they are easy, instead of doing it all by yourself. So I am really, I feel the collaboration is everything in your business, and how you serve your clients. So all of this, we didn't know, but we found the answers by being with those people, or those, I would say, environment. I almost attended, I still remember 80% of the conferences and seminars, and we shared what we learned, we knew, and also at the same time we learned from other people by listening or sharing what they had to say. And that really created that continuity and brought so much good things to our business.
And I think it was also, partly the environment. You were almost, there was no choice. You had to be high touch, even if you were low tech, right? But in being that high touch, low tech, you were able to build credibility and relationship at every single point in time. And I've experienced that interacting with you in these past few months. I've noticed that you use technology to your advantage, of course, to communicate. But more than that, there is something about you where you make the other person feel like it's not just a transactional interaction. You care and you extend a very warm, welcoming handshake. So I think it's your personality which did not get lost. You started your business in an era where you had the opportunity to not just bring that part of your personality out there, but also build on the skills that you already have, polish them, right?
Yes, absolutely. I think I'm a lifelong learner. I have this very strong urge in me. Like every day I want to learn new things, and it's just inside of me. I feel very actually happy when I'm reading a book or reading something new, and and I'm outside and learning from other people, it's just it makes a whole different outlook in your personally for yourself and for your business also. And on relationships, I think we all of us can't say enough is that you can have all of these contracts, right, with the client, but nothing would last or sustain if we don't have that relationship, the healthy relationship where they trust you. That one thing I use that a lot in our business, and the things I take responsibility is to give your absolute best. So then people trust that you will always safeguard and work towards their best interest. And one thing, we have been so proud in our business, and again, to the many sacrifices and courage due to my business and life partner, my husband Nip, that we have some of those clients, Anu, which we had back in 1989 still in our consulting company, which is very hard, right? But I think through the relationships, we were able to, work with them for so long. So I think we must be doing something right.
You've had a wonderful journey up until this point with running your own business, but also spending your time in the community, volunteering for so many causes, learning from the community, and building those relationships which have served you really well. But also, you have been a blessing to everybody that you've come in contact with, all the organizations that received, your talents and your time, which has really enriched our community in so many different ways. We'll move on to our next segment here, which is Kaam Ki Baat. And in Kaam Ki Baat, I'd love to know a little bit about your consulting firm.
Sure.
For our audience who don't quite, have an exposure to consulting line of work, could you please explain what consulting is, and then talk about what do you do through your firm, SNA Consulting?
Sure. So I started our business as a CPA, doing a lot of traditional work for I would say maybe 1 or 2 years. But what I learned over the years was that a business needs more than just financial statements or a tax return, right? There's so many different functions and the areas where we can step in as their consultant or executive coach or advisor, where we can help them to grow, right, through the different cycles of their business. So, and I couldn't do it alone, right? Nip couldn't do it alone. So what we did was, and I mentioned to you, we were always, in touch with other companies, other organizations, traveling and meeting people. So through that, we were able to empower the right talent, find the right people to support the projects we wanted to do, which were very challenging, which I didn't know the answer. I had no clue on some of those things. But together again, with their help and, we researched, we worked very hard to find how can we help this client, find solutions for their problems. What are their pain points? So all of these things, I think, which I like challenging things. I wasn't happy just by doing this, 2+2 type of work, So I think that desire is still here, alive and healthy. I think I always find passion in serving our clients and the people, and it made I think everything not so easy, but we could take on more projects and clients and truly serve them to their needs, and that helped them having a very diverse group of talent through our company. And that's where I feel any type of work or any project or size or complexity, if it is very complex, we're not really scared because we know who we can lean on or who we can bring into our team to help those clients outside. And it's ongoing, I feel you never arrive in these. It's a constant journey, which I feel starts with me because I have to be a lifelong learner. I have to find new ways to and be creative or find innovation in our thought process, in our processes, to serve our clients. So it's just something you can sit back and say, I'm done. It's ongoing.
You spoke like a true leader. Your role first and foremost as a leader is to care for your clients, bring the smartest people on board who will tell you what to do. So that approach that I'm here to learn, I'm a lifelong learner, let's figure this out, and we don't know all the answers. Nobody ever has any answers,
Yes,
all to themselves, but trying to figure things out and bringing the right talent and right skill set to the job is the primary function of a leader. So, and that's what puts you in that position where you have run very successful business all throughout these decades. So that is excellent to know. Do you want to talk a little bit about your footprint and talk about your work and how it has expanded in these past few decades?
We love working and serving our clients right here in our Northeast Ohio, but we felt that there's so much, coming from having that diverse skills and having multi-talented people in our team. And my husband actually took a lead, and through his efforts, we were able to expand within USA and all outside the US, in Europe, Asia, North America. We have a very, how do I say, a very small client base. That's our niche, because we want to make sure if we have these 10, 50 companies, we want to able them serve well, to their full needs, rather than having a very large client base and, not able to do the things they are looking for. So from the very beginning, I think our client base has been very small, but if I have this one client, which I always share, it's like to me having 10 clients, because, we sit down with them and explore and what their needs are, and then we're able to help them with number of things, through our team. And that's where I feel has been a very successful strategy for us, for our small business, that, it's better to have satisfied, 10 clients than having 100 and, nobody knows where they are. So that's the kind of, I want to say the focus we have.
That's great to know. So it's really always quality over quantity. And, with your kind of approach, it also feels like the clients trust you better when they know that you have not spread yourself thin with a lot of clients on your plate, but you've taken a few clients on and you try to serve them to the best of your abilities to meet their business needs. And in the process, you also have, you develop knowledge about their specific businesses, which are, very, like you said, it's a niche focus, right? So you're trying to solve specific problems for these clients, which may or may not exist with other companies. So you really understand, their pulse better in the way you handle your business. That sets an example, so many firms, because if you look at corporate America, it's all built on more, right? And then a point comes where you start seeing how people start crumbling and falling to all the pressure. But then if your business philosophy, your motto is, I'm going to take few people, but I'm going to make sure that I deliver to the best of my abilities, then that is what paves way for success. So great to know, Rita ji. What advice do you have for small companies or individuals thinking of starting their own business?
Before I give say, do this, because there are multiple things when you start your business. One thing, again, it's coming from our personal experience over the last 25 plus 30 years almost now, is that, if you look at any business, right, the business comes from the community, right? It comes from the community, whether we're Amazon or any company, a small company, 1-person company. So I think one thing I would tell whoever is thinking of starting is to go out in the community and build the relationships, do that, because that helps in itself. And I have seen that. There was a time we were spending a lot of, on marketing. To me, people have been the best marketing for us. It's through the word of mouth, it's through the referrals, the relationships. So what I'm saying is that a small company, it is more important. I know sometimes we are time pressed, but is to build the relationships with people, because that again becomes an asset for you, your relationships, and second thing, which is we talked about this earlier, is always you want to evolve, you want to grow. I am really for that continuous education. It's not just going to the seminar or going to a university. To me, I'm learning from you, right? So have that kind of a outlook for your business, that you want to be in always learning the new technology, the new ways of doing business. And that to me is very important, because if you are rusty, you are not going to be able to help your clients, right? Because I have personally seen, and this has been over the years, we get so many calls every day in our business. We are not in business of doing those things, but our clients rely on us, that if there is some answer they are looking, they're going to call us to find that, right? And if we don't know ourselves, we have built this, how do I say, very powerful network, right? If we cannot help them, we always have been directing them to the right source. So to me, that's a best thing any company can have around, their business, so they can share these resources with their clients. And to me, education is very important, very, very important.
It's a long road to success. There are no shortcuts. And in your case, you've done things the hard way, but the right way. You've believed
Yes.
investing in people, taking time to build those relationships, going out in the community, and just learning about what exists out there. What are people looking for? What are their pain points? What are their problems? And what is it that you can do? So it definitely sounds like a lot of time investment.
Mhm.
Again, the dividend is on the other side, what you see as business success, because that is the tip of the iceberg. But underneath, behind the scenes, a lot of effort has gone in.
One of the things which is very dear and near to my heart is that I realized, I would say, very early on in my life. I won't just say in business. That why? What's your purpose? What's your why you are here? The deeper meaning of being in business, right? I think once we realize that, what is the purpose? Am I here just to sell my marketing report or a business plan? No, I want to go above and beyond the boundaries of my business to help someone, right? That's where I feel is my why, my purpose. And business has become my avenue, another avenue to serve that purpose. That's how I look at our business. And both of us, Nip and I, are very aligned together when it comes to our company. He has done selfless service, over the years, spending countless hours in helping other companies. And that has helped him, because even he was leaving this last week and he says, no, I said, do you have to go to that trip? And he says, no, I will learn a lot. I want to be there because it helps me to learn a lot of new. And here he is, and still has that desire to learn more, give more. And so I think that really helps us once you define, why you are here, what your purpose is, and it just makes everything more meaningful.
So, you have a growth mindset. So that is the characteristic, that is the quality that you bring. And then what you do is you build around your strengths. So you have those leadership strengths, you have critical thinking. So you've assessed all your skill sets, you've seen what your strengths are, what your philosophy, core values are, and then you've discovered your purpose. So let's move on now to our next segment, which is X Factor, which is your X Factor. What is it that you consider central or core to your personality?
So if I were to answer that in four words, it is to do the right things. That's core to my personality. Because when what is leadership? Leadership is to do the right things. So if I have that built in and I'm mindful, then whatever the ups and downs or opportunities come in my way, I think that helps me to make the right decision also.
I do want to bring into the conversation the organization that you started, where you shine light on women, women in the community, women across the globe. And that is something that takes a very big heart to do, to recognize and to appreciate the unique gifts that people have. I would love for you to talk about your organization.
So back in, I would say 1990, and 89 when we started our business, I was personally involved in a lot of other organizations, women, civic, professional. There is always like this one person leading the platform. The opportunity was not shared with other people. So that kind of, I bothered me, and I said, where is everybody else? There are so many other women, we see every day in our life, in our community, doing these amazing work, right? And we're not bringing them out and sharing their story, just like how you are doing, with your time. And then that's where I think I came to my home and office, and I said, you know what, I want to start something that brings all of us together at a one platform, whether you are white, brown, from Mexico, India, China, and whatever your skills may be, right? Or whatever your age group may be, right? There are women I see who start doing this very early on, just like how I see my daughters, I have to sometimes stop them, but they have been raised like that, they not only do their day job, but they are involved in their community to go out and help someone else. So we started this organization from a very seed was planted back in 2005, Elite Women Around the World. And this platform um, gives opportunity to all the women, who can come together and talk about their accomplishments. And, we had so many people, came and spoke, and we also invite men, all the men, and I feel if we have to make a change, they must be there listening to what we are talking about, what our issues or things we want, how we want the system to change. So and this was, this whole idea was received very well with so many people who I was, I had relationship or I was volunteering, and we created so many programs over the years. I think the COVID period was the only 3 years, 2.5, where we did most of the Zoom, but there were so many face-to-face programs. And I had a choice to do my business or do this organization, but I obviously it took a lot of sacrifices from me, from my family, to take that time away to have the programs. But I think in the long run, it has been personally very rewarding, and to the women who we have, brought into the stage and helped them with their entrepreneurial or leadership skills, and also created this environment, which you also mentioned how important that is, to sit with somebody or know somebody or learn from somebody who they don't know. So I think it's been a great journey, and I'm happy to share with you that we are actually doing a small women's international program in Washington, D.C. this year, and that was also possible through one of our a very key member who had said she will put together the entire program. So instead of doing it in Cleveland, it will be in Washington, D.C. So we're making difference with our small steps, but it has definitely made an impact on a lot of people.
Do you want to talk a little bit about the initiatives that you have supported through Elite Women Around the World, some of the impact that you have made?
So most of the programs are really focused on business and the leadership skill, because there's one thing I think which you and I can probably relate, is that when we came from India, or most of the people who come from India have a very good education, right? So I felt that whatever I know from my skills, and if I bring the other people who also have different skills and they share those skills and wisdom and their experiences through these forums, so many women can gain from that type of experiences and education. I think is so important for women to step out of you. We are all going to be a homemaker, but there is so many things you can change instead of complaining that I don't have a good job, or this career, or why somebody else is powerful. But I feel taking the time out of our day to be in those programs, which there are so many in our community. So I feel that network and is so important, where you can find a mentor or lean on someone to get some help, which women have this tendency not to ask, right? So I feel to have that courage, and somebody kind of pushing you and saying you can do it, so that in the long run, I feel we all can make a change in our life and for our families, for our community, and for our country. It's what we do in a given day, so the choice is ours. There are many, many options, and I hope that we all will make the right choice. um,
You've really touched upon some very important issues that women face. Like you rightly said, a lot of women don't step out of their comfort zone, and they always hesitate to ask. It could be any issue, any topic, that you actually have resources outside to address those exact needs. But by not asking, you're not doing anybody a favor. So opportunities abound. They're all around you, organizations, causes, anything. And if you choose to be a part of those, you not only walk away with solutions or answers to your specific problems, but you also have opportunities where you can find great mentors, great networking opportunities, access to resources. And these are all the things that truly empower you. When we talk about women's empowerment, I think that's exactly what we mean. And you are a glowing example of somebody who has shown how to do it, shown how it's done. So no better person to talk about this aspect than you, Rita ji, because you've done all those things. You've stepped out of your comfort zone. You had a growth mindset. You brought your skills to the fore and enabled yourself, empowered yourself to take those steps to go out, make connections, mentor, be mentored, network. And I think that is something that every woman should aspire to learn from and most definitely listen to. But more than all of this, the one thing that stands out to me when people talk about you is how warm and approachable you are. So that, again, comes down to your personality. So that is your greatest X factor.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rita ji.
Thank you.
We'll move on to our final segment in this show, which is self-care. How do you take care of yourself? You've got a lot of responsibilities. You are part of these amazing groups and organizations. What do you do to take care of yourself at mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual level?
That's very important, for all of us, if we need to live healthy and do the things we want to. I am I'm literally addicted to working out. I work out every day. The day I don't work out, I'm not myself, and I do cardio, Pilates, yoga, a little bit walking, some swimming. It's just a way of my life I've been doing for many, many years. And I think if I have to stay healthy first, right? I have to be healthy before I expect my family to be healthy, or my kids, my husband. I have to do for myself first. So I do take the time. I do take the time on a daily basis. And second thing, which I don't know, we have been raised it to me with when I say prayer is our business strategy. We do take the time to sit down, during the day, even when we are working, take the time to bow to someone else, to the higher power, for the things he has blessed us with. So that gratitude piece to higher power and also to his people is very important. And I do take the time out of again, it's sort of my second nature, to take the time to follow up, follow throughs, um, call and say thank you, appreciate. That I learned through my business that, I have a choice to give this check through a mail or, on their desk, but I feel I personally want to say and how much we appreciate, your work. And that again, I do for everyone. I feel whether it's somebody who helps me clean the floors or whatever the nature of the work may be, I don't differentiate. I feel it's very important to take the time to say thank you to other people who have do so much for us. So I feel very happy uh, and positive because all of this, to me, your financial, physical, your spiritual health makes up a person. So
Very well said. And again, those are the things we need to learn from you. Those little details, right? Where you make it a point to bring in that personal touch. So not just leave things, but take that extra step,
yes,
make that little extra effort, but make the other person feel really warm and welcome and special. So thank you so much for sharing those wonderful aspects of your self-care routine, Rita ji. Before we conclude our session today, I'd love to know if you have any parting message or parting thoughts for our audience.
I think two things that comes to my mind is number one is that that I hope that whatever I shared, somebody can gain a better perspective, from my life. And I'm always here if there's something I can help you, coach you, can help their business. I'm always here, and second thing, to you, this is absolutely to me is commendable, that you taking the time out of your schedule from your family and from your work and bringing out so many women, and this is incredible, and my hat's off to you, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Rita ji. Those words mean a lot
Thank you.
coming from you. I really appreciate that. And I will be sure to drop a link for your LinkedIn, perhaps, where people can connect with you. If someone wants to reach out, whether it's business or it's mentorship or networking or even being part of your organization that is Elite Women around the world, I'll be happy to share that link. And I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule and coming to my show. It's an enriching experience for me every time I connect with you. And I want to thank you so much for that opportunity.
Same here. Thank you.